Howdy, everybody. Happy Poop Tip Tuesday. I want to thank you guys for joining me on my live stream. So, for those guys who are joining for the first time, my name is Dr. Islam. And yes, I'm an actual poop doctor. My passion is to give you, yes, you, the best tips and tricks to help out with your gut health. If you haven't already, don't forget to smash that like button. Like, share, subscribe. Also, don't forget to share this video as well. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to a weekly newsletter. I'll put a link down below where I give you the best tips and tricks to help out with your health. Hope you guys are having a great Tuesday. I'm having a fantastic Tuesday myself. A huge favor, let me know if you're watching this live or on the replay and where you guys are watching this live stream from. Hope you guys are doing great. Carol, it's good seeing you. Yes, you are in the house. I'm in the house as well. Thank you for watching. So I am excited. Today was our first day in our new clinic space. I was so excited about the way things went. I was so proud of my staff. It went fantastic. I could not have asked for a better team, nor could have asked for a great day. So I am so excited. If you guys are seeing me, I'm excited to show you guys whenever you guys come see me in my new office space, so you can hopefully see some of the new things that we're doing as well. So we'll go into the questions. I have about 5 questions I'm going to answer today. And if you guys have any live questions, comment down below. I'll go through them towards the very end of the video. And I want to answer any questions you guys have. My favorite part of this whole thing is answering your live questions. So I'm excited to do that. Marie, it's good seeing you again. Thank you for watching as well. Amanda, yes, I like my shirt as well. Thank you for watching on the live stream. All right, first question, Dr. Islam. What are your thoughts on juicing? All right, so juicing seems to be all the rage, or it has been for quite some time. A lot of people want to do maybe juice cleanses or other types of juicing to kind of get the nutrition that they want. So here's what you need to know. Number one, there's nothing inherently great about juicing. If you want to juice, that's perfectly fine. Some people feel like they get more vegetables, more fruits that way, especially if they have some of the minerals that are there. Here's the issue that comes with juicing, is that if you don't get the whole fruit itself, you actually don't get the fiber component of that fruit. It is the fiber that gives you the best things for your gut health. So fruits have natural prebiotic fibers that all of our gut microbiome uses as a building block, or as a way to nourish those gut microbiome cells and to make them stronger, make them healthier, and to prevent anything from getting worse in the future. Now, if you juice, there is a chance you will lose a lot of that prebiotic fiber that's there. And if you do that, that could lead to not getting the best nutrition that you would want whenever you ingest some of the good fruits or some of the good vegetables that are there. However, if juicing is for you and you find a benefit for it, I have no problem with that. It's perfectly fine. There's nothing inherently wrong with it, but there's also nothing inherently great about juicing as well. But the most important thing you have to do is try to make sure you do implement it within your diet, a diet that's high in fruits, a diet that's high in vegetables, a diet that is high in plants. And sometimes it's hard for people to ingest that naturally, just eating all that. And sometimes juicing can be a way to do that. So if that's what you want to do, I'm all for it. Good job. But keep in mind, you may lose some of those prebiotic enzymes and prebiotic supplements in these natural foods that are really going to be the things that's going to enhance your gut microbiome. So it's a great question that I got. Angela's good seeing you. Thank you as well. And Justice 5150 is good seeing you guys. Thank you guys for watching on the live stream. All right, perfect. All right. Question number 2, Dr. Islam, what are some treatments for external hemorrhoids? All right, let me know in the comments, have you guys suffered from external hemorrhoids, or do you know somebody who has? So let's talk about hemorrhoids just in general. There are 2 types of hemorrhoids that we have. They're external hemorrhoids, which is what I'm going to talk about now. And then there's internal hemorrhoids. So internal hemorrhoids are typically ones that we do not see. We can't see them. We try to take a look, but we don't see anything that's there. But the vast majority of symptoms come from internal hemorrhoids. Pain, bleeding, itching, pressure, feeling unclean. Those are symptoms from internal hemorrhoids. External hemorrhoids, on the other hand, typically are ones that we do see. If we feel a bulge that's there, or see something that's there, or feel something protruding out, that is an external hemorrhoid. The vast majority of people who have external hemorrhoids do not have symptoms that come from them. Now, I will tell you, I have so many patients that come to see me to fix their external hemorrhoids because they assume that is the cause for their symptoms, when rather it's an internal hemorrhoid that's really the true cause. But Most people do not have symptoms when it comes to external hemorrhoids. Now, you may have the occasional person who has the feeling that they can't completely clean themselves, or something is keeping themselves inside, something is preventing things from being expelled from their bottom. Okay, I'll give that to them, especially if they have a very large external hemorrhoid. But the vast majority of symptoms by far are internal hemorrhoids. These are ones that we can fix. Now, if you wanted to get your external hemorrhoids fixed for some reason, the only way to fix that is surgically, and I would not recommend getting them fixed surgically. Your bottom, your rectum has a lot of nerves, a lot of pain fibers, and it's not very clean for some people. And it can be a place or an environment which makes it more difficult to fix and more difficult to treat and more difficult to eventually heal up. So I would not recommend that at all. All right, great question. Cruz, good seeing you. JNGP, it's good seeing you as well. And perfect. Awesome. Sounds great. And Marie, you have a great question. I'll answer that as well. Perfect. So question number 3. This is a question I actually got in the clinic this week. Actually today, because today was my first day in clinic. We said, hey, Dr. Islam, I have sulfur burps. What is going on? All right. How many of you guys, or how many of you guys know somebody who has suffered from sulfur burping? It sucks. It is terrible. I'm sure it doesn't smell very good. It can be very disturbing to a lot of my patients as well. And there are a lot of reasons why people can have sulfur burps. Let's go over that. Number 1 is that it could be a condition of bad bacteria inside your GI tract. So there are some people who suffer from a condition called small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, or SIBO. Now what this is an overgrowth of bad bacteria for any number of different reasons. There are certain medications that can make you more prime for that. There are certain conditions, like say, for example, you've had a gastric bypass, you've had some sort of intestinal surgery, or the motility of your GI tract is very slow, that fluid just festers inside your gut. And when that happens, you have an overgrowth of bad bacteria. And over time, the bad bacteria will ferment, cause gas, cause distension, and cause a lot of burping. That's reason number 1. Reason number 2 is that you actually may be eating a lot of foods that have a lot of sulfur in them. And so avoiding those high sulfur foods would help out with that. I have a lot of videos on my YouTube page about how to fix farts and how to fix burping. And I mainly go into the fact that food plays a role in that, and foods that are high in sulfur. So for example, cruciferous vegetables, beans, lentils, broccoli, these are foods that have a lot of sulfur in them. And if you can't digest them correctly, it will manifest and go inside your gut and cause those sulfur burps to occur. That's another reason. Number 3 is that you may be lactose intolerant. This is a very common reason to have very foul smelling burping. A lot of people do not realize the fact that they are allergic to dairy. So they have cheese, ice cream, milk, cream in their coffee. And because of that, because they can't metabolize the dairy, they have gut issues. It presents as sulfur burping. And so these are some of the reasons why people can have sulfur burping. And there are easy fixes, guys. You can do this. Number 1, if you have bad bacteria, come see a GI doctor like me. We can test you for it and we can treat you for it. Number 2, avoid those foods that are high in sulfur. I have a lot of videos on that. And number 3, try to minimize or eliminate dairy. You'd be surprised how much better you may feel just by doing that alone. That may resolve a lot of the gut issues that you are having. Perfect. All right. Question number 4, Dr. Islam, talk to me about gut parasites. So I see this everywhere on social media. People are always talking about gut parasites, or they feel like they have parasites inside their GI tract, or other clinicians are testing themselves and other people for parasitic infections, wondering if something is going on there. So let me kind of give you the lowdown on what we know. So unless you live in a country that has a predominance of parasites that are there. So for example, maybe South America, maybe in India, maybe in Asia, or maybe in sub-Saharan Africa. These are areas that have a lot of parasites that are there. They can cause a lot of gut issues. But if you live in West Texas, if you live in Texas, there's a very unlikely chance that you have a parasite. It's just a matter of the way things are. Now, there are some conditions which will make it more likely for you to have a parasite. So for example, you drink stream water in a lake, or when you're camping, you may get a parasite. If you have undercooked pork, you can develop a parasite. But those are mainly the exceptions, not the rule. I have seen so many people who are wondering about gut parasites because they've been told by a friend, or a doctor that they have gut parasites. And guess what? There's a very good chance that you don't. And there's very few ways that we can test for this. We can check a blood test to see if there's a certain count of a certain blood test that will allow us to see if you may have a parasite. We can check stool testing. That's basically it, though. That's all we can do. The standard testing that we have for parasites are very limited. We only do that for people who are at risk of developing a parasite. So for example, if I have somebody see me in the clinic who is having gut issues, they are a camper and they drink some stream water, I will check them for a parasite. But beyond that, it's typically not the normal thing that we do. And so because of that, we do not see that often. And because of that as well, we don't treat it that often. Now, I've seen a lot of people get treated for parasites because of some random testing that they got on a lab or on the internet. And guess what? The vast majority of those tests are not right. They are wrong. They give the wrong results, and they don't allow us to actually know what is going on. So in essence, you're wasting your money. So when it comes to parasites, unless you have a predisposing condition, or you've been to an environment that's a high likelihood for that, or you do some sort of activity that will make you more likely to have a parasite, you don't have a parasite. I don't care what your friends say. I don't care what other people say. This is what you need to know, and I'm here to tell you the truth of what you need to know about your health. Perfect. All right. Then lastly, last question before going to live questions. I appreciate that. Number 5. Dr. Islam, how do I fix traveler's constipation? All right. How many of you guys, when we did travel, which I know we're not traveling now, how many of you guys had issues with constipation whenever you traveled? I'll be honest with you, I did. Yes, I'll be the first to admit that. My bowels slowed down when I went traveling. Here's the reason why. So number 1, as you're going on a plane or going in a car, it's a very easy chance for you to become more dehydrated. You're not drinking as much. You're having a change in the altitude. You're on a road trip. You don't want to stop off and use the restroom. That's one reason. Number 2 is that we're not eating the normal things that we normally do. So when I go on vacation, I go crazy. I eat whatever I want. I want to enjoy my time. I'm not as strict with my diet. I don't have a lot of fruits. I don't have a lot of vegetables. I'm a bad boy, and that's the way it is. Number 3, too, I'm out of my kind of normal habit. So I have a particular habit. We typically, all of us, most of us do, of when we want to use the restroom. And when we use the restroom, we have certain triggers that allow our body to relax and use the restroom. When you're on vacation, you do not have those same triggers. So what can you do to fix this? Number 1, you really have to hydrate. Hydrate. It makes a difference. Number 2, I recommend starting your day with a great prebiotic fiber. Something like wheat dextrin that's in benefiber, guar gum, acacia powder. These are fantastic natural prebiotic fibers that can really help out with your gut microbiome and move things through quicker and more effectively. Number 3, consider starting a magnesium supplement. Talk with your doctor, but this is one thing that I recommend for a lot of my patients to help them use the restroom more effectively. Number 4, when you feel the urge to go, go. Don't wait. Don't sit in the car. Don't sit on that plane. Actually use the restroom. Apologize. Actually use the restroom when you feel the urge to go. And then lastly, number 5, if you need to use one of the big guns like a laxative, like Miralax, perfectly fine. Not a big deal. I take Miralax with me on a vacation because I know I'm going to be stopped up, and I know I do not want that to be a problem for me because I want to enjoy my vacation. I want to enjoy my time off. All right, these are the 5 questions I have. Let's go into some of the questions that you guys have. So Marie, wine and acid reflux. It's tough. I'm telling you. So wine has a couple of different things that can make it more likely for you to have acid reflux. Number 1, some wines have a lot of sugar. That sugar can make it more likely for that valve to open up longer and more often. Number 2, wine can be very acidic just in and of itself. That can make it more likely for you to produce acid because the more acid that you have, the more likely that valve will open and cause reflux symptoms to occur. Number three, sometimes your wine may have some fat in there as well, and that fat in turn can make that valve open longer and more often. And sometimes if you have a very citrusy type of wine, that also is a risk factor for developing acid reflux. So one of the ways you can minimize that, obviously, avoid wine, or you can maybe alternate between wine and water, or if you need to, you can certainly be on medications to help out with your acid reflux. But remember, the best way to take your medication is 30 minutes before your first meal or before the time when you typically have acid reflux to help best control your symptoms when it comes to acid reflux. All right, let's go through some more questions. So Justice, great question. Justice 5150 asks, if someone can't poop well, how long until it becomes worrisome? So that's a very good question. It comes down to constipation. So in essence, constipation is a disease that you need to treat only if you're having a lot of discomfort. So what I mean by that is, let's say you don't use a restroom for a full week, but you don't have any pain, you don't have any discomfort. It's not a big deal. It really isn't. It's not a big deal. The only time you really have to treat constipation is if you have a lot of pain, a lot of discomfort, or a lot of issues. Now, for some people, that may be every single time you use the restroom. And so this is one of the reasons why the frequency of using the restroom is not really a good definition of constipation. What a good definition of constipation is you feel like you're getting everything out. You're emptying everything. You feel very good about your bowels. Things are going through. And I have a lot of patients that go every single day that still do not have that sensation, and they are constipated. But on the other end of the spectrum, I have patients that go maybe once or twice a week, but they are very happy with that. They have a very good bowel movement with that. They feel everything is coming out, and that is perfectly fine. So it's not a matter of time frame when it comes to constipation. It's a matter of what makes you comfortable and uncomfortable. The one exception to that rule is if you have a new change in your bowel habits. So for example, let's say you're a type of person who went every single day, but then all of a sudden you stopped going every single day. You went every 1 or 2 days, then 3 days. Maybe you become one every 4 days. If you have a new change in your bowel habits, that is the time when you need to get worried and get checked out for that. Very great question. Perfect. So Sylvia, I'm going to answer a quick question really quick. Chia seeds, does it help with constipation? Answer is yes, absolutely. Chia seeds is one of the things I recommend. I actually recommend adding this to a smoothie. We actually have a constipation smoothie that I recommend to my patients in the clinic that works really, really well. And one of the components of that is chia seeds. It's a very effective prebiotic food to allow to improve your gut microbiome. But not only that, it will allow you to use your restroom a lot more effectively. Absolutely. I do recommend that for sure, 100%. Amanda, great question. For weight loss, would you recommend keto or just lowering carbs? I miss fruit when I try keto. Absolutely. So if you've seen my channel, I am not a great fan of keto. I don't think first of all, the science doesn't support keto as a long-term weight loss strategy. Number two, we are seeing that there's more causes of inflammation when you have a predominantly high-based meat diet. I mean, the data is very clear. It changes your gut microbiome. You have more inflammatory cells. You have less antioxidants, and you produce a lot of bad bacteria inside your gut. So when it comes to weight loss, here are the clues. Number one, it really comes down to making sure you have less calories coming in and you're expelling more calories. That's what the basic science, what it comes down to. It really does come to that. And the best way to do that is to find the foods that can produce the less amount of calories that you can eat. And carbohydrates tend to produce the most amount of calories. This is why the low carb diets tend to help out with weight loss. Now, having said that, I don't think a low carb diet is what you need necessarily. For some people they do, and some people they don't. Every single person is individual. And I would say that it really matters that you check your food, you measure your food, you know exactly what's going in, and you try to supplement that with foods that are whole, that are nutrient dense, that don't have a lot of calories, but have a lot of vegetables and are plant-based, because vegetables and plant-based take up more space. And because they take up more space, you feel fuller longer. But not only that, you actually don't eat as many calories and you can start to lose weight with that. I have found that for my patients who go on a plant-based diet, they tend to lose a lot more weight and they feel so much better as well. Great question. All right, perfect. All right. Just going through some of the questions. Well, there's no more questions, guys. I want to thank you guys for watching. I'll be on a little bit longer. So a couple things that would help me out. Number one, if you can smash that like button, that would let all the social media giants know that I'm doing something worthwhile. Number two, if you can share this video to your friends who may be interested in what we talked about, I would appreciate that as well. And number three, if you want to be on my next live video, don't forget to subscribe to my weekly newsletter. I'll put a link where you can subscribe. You can send me an email. I read all the emails. I may not be able to answer them, but those that I can, I'll try to answer them on a live video. But guys, I want to thank you for watching. Hope you guys have a great day. And I look forward to seeing you guys in my new clinic as well. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you guys next Tuesday. Thanks, everyone. Take care.